At Wyland, we are working together as a staff to find the best ways to educate the whole child.
Teaching the whole child is so important because our students come to us with so many different experiences, and you really have to be able to build that relationship with them so that you can understand what experiences they come to you with.
My job here at Wyland Elementary School is to be sure that all the children have breakfast and lunch. It's important that we take care of the whole child because a lot of our children come to school hungry, and they also come to school not knowing if there's going to be a meal when they get home.
I teach the whole child in this classroom by offering choices. I believe that, when the student comes to the classroom, especially when a student comes to the art classroom, it's important that they learn more about themselves through the mistakes they make and the successes they have. They need an opportunity to kind of figure themselves out. And I think art itself has kind of provides that, that foundation for that exploration.
Teaching the whole child in my classroom looks like not only teaching those core subjects, but really digging deeper and teaching the behaviors that create that positive social responsibility in order for them to be successful later on in life.
We are doing a lot of learning and becoming informed about trauma, about sensory needs, really learning about executive functioning and what that looks like if students are lacking those attention skills that they need. We also are working really hard to teach our students strategies to either calm down or to redirect their thinking. And what we've noticed is that more and more of our students are really open to learning about mindfulness. We're using the Calm Classroom to help do some exercises within the classroom to calm down, doing lots of movement breaks, making sure that our children have lots of time for movement. Also making sure that they have an area in the classroom that they can go to so that there is some kind of safe spot where they may have some fidgets that they can use or a journal to write in so that they're able to get themselves regulated again.
This is our space spot. This is where we go if we are sad or angry. When we are at our safe spot, we have to be quiet. Next, we can pick a tool that we need to use. This is called Safe Bottle. You can shake it and then you can watch it go down.
We've been doing a lot of learning about growth mindset and thinking about looking at that iceberg model. So what is the behavior and really thinking about what is underlying that behavior, what's underneath it.
So many of our students come to us without knowing how to recognize emotions or how to manage their own behavior, that instead of a punishment for them, it turns more into a conversation and a consequence so that students are learning how to manage themselves in a classroom.
I think it's important to bring parents on board in the students' learning, to start with a positive phone call. Some students don't get positive phone calls, so when you call home and say, "Oh, your child today had a really great day passing out papers," they get really surprised that you made the time to say something positive. And then when you do have to make a phone call with something not as positive, they're more open to listen to you. Wyland is very caring. All the staff is here for all the kids. If the child needs someone to talk to, needs a hug, the Wyland staff is here for that.
As we work on taking care of our students and making sure that we are meeting their social emotional needs, we know that that can often be very physically and emotionally draining on a teacher or a staff member. And so we're really focusing on how we can also take care of the adults in the building, making sure that we are putting in some opportunities for mindfulness for staff members. And so we are meeting weekly and being able to do that with our art teacher who is leading us through those exercises. And we are also making sure that we are planning the fun and happy activities where we're having breakfast together or lunch together, and just really celebrating and recognizing all of the great work that is taking place.
She helps me because that's what teachers are there for, to help you. And and teachers, they want to help you. And teachers, they just want what's best for you.
How does she show that she wants what's best for you? How do you know that?
Cause I could see it. I could see it, and I could tell that she loves me, and I love her too. It's not gonna always be easy, but the only thing you could do is just try. And I want to grow up, get a good education, go to college, and get a good job.
I see some teachers, they they give the student a slip and they go in a buddy room. Maybe that might help them relax and get away from all their frustration. The buddy room, you would have to go to some kind of classroom, like a different classroom besides yours, and you would have to stay there for a little bit until the other teacher tells you you can go back.
They try to change their attitudes by giving them a positive comment.
And I also think they should have maybe a time by themselves if they need to relax and let it all out.
Well, there is one child in particular that I've now had for 2 years. And when he first came to me in 4th grade, he was so angry at the world. He would have explosive moments in the classroom. He would have meltdowns. He didn't trust anybody, and his grades were extremely low. I was lucky if I could get him to put 2 sentences down on paper. And it wasn't easy to really build this strong relationship with this student. He kind of had this wall up, but I kept working at it and fought for this relationship. And finally, when it was becoming very difficult to kind of let his wall down, I started reaching out to his mom and his grandma and his aunt and started calling them on the daily. Anytime he would have a meltdown, I would call them and share with them what was happening. And over time, the student just started completely transforming. It's like he knew that there was this team of people that were rallying around him and really just wanted to see him be successful. And now that I've had him in 5th grade, continuing that relationship for another year, it almost makes me want to cry. He's having perfect days. He is completing all of his classwork. He is a role model for students in the building. Whenever they're having a hard time, he will stop and talk to them about how I've taught him to start taking deep breaths and how to calm down and help them to kind of get a perspective and say, is this a big deal? Is it a little deal? And I just get to sit back and watch that and be like, wow, he's learned that in the past 2 years. And this team of educators and family and him, we've all worked to create this really successful person who's going to do really great things in the world. And it's really amazing to see how far you can take a student with a relationship in as small as 2 years.